You won't believe what just went down. Seriously, I thought I'd witnessed every kind of HOA chaos, but this one deserves an award. Picture this, you're half awake, coffee in hand, and there's a knock at your door. You're thinking Amazon delivery, right? Nope. It's the neighborhood Karen, clipboard in hand, trying to sell your house, without your knowledge, without your permission, and apparently, without a single functioning brain cell. Yeah, she had a full-blown real estate scam brewing, complete with forged papers, fake signatures, and the confidence of someone who's watched too many courtroom dramas. The kicker? She had no clue her grand plan was about to crash harder than a bad soap opera finale. It started out like any other Tuesday. I was sitting at my desk, sipping coffee, scrolling through emails, when one from a title company caught my eye. At first, I figured it was spam, maybe another, "you've won a luxury cruise" type of thing, but nope, this was worse. They were asking if I had recently sold my property because apparently someone had submitted a contract on my behalf. And if you've ever had an HOA Karen in your life, you know exactly the type, walking around like she personally built the neighborhood. Mine? She probably thought she was the star of her own drama series called How to Steal a House and Still Be the Victim. So, naturally, I called the title company. And when the agent said, "Sir, this contract is completely fake," I nearly spit my coffee across the room. I mean, come on. The paperwork looked like it was typed up by a toddler using crayons. But here's where it goes from ridiculous to legendary. Karen didn't just forge my name. She also listed my neighbor's dog as a witness. I wish I was kidding. She actually claimed Rex could confirm the sale happened. I had to mute the phone because I was crying laughing, imagining her giving testimony beside a golden retriever. The title company, on the other hand, wasn't amused. They flagged the contract as suspected fraud and kicked it up to their legal department immediately. And that's when this little HOA horror story started turning into a full-blown investigation. It felt like something straight out of a mini FBI episode. I half expected a black SUV to pull up, agents in dark suits and sunglasses stepping out, whispering into earpieces, "We've got a Karen in the wild." Of course, Karen had already started her neighborhood rumor tour, spreading the word that I had messed up paperwork, and the sale was, in her words, completely legitimate. Her loyal HOA sidekicks nodded along like it was a presidential announcement. Honestly, it was like living inside a daytime soap opera, except I was both the main character and the victim. At this point, I knew things were about to get messy, but also kind of hilarious. Because when someone commits fraud this clumsily, and you've got the receipts, you just sit back and enjoy the show. By the end of the day, I had a call log, screenshots, and a collection of evidence that could win a courtroom comedy award. Meanwhile, Karen was probably at home celebrating, totally unaware that her master plan was collapsing faster than a card table in a hurricane. Just when I thought her stunt had hit peak ridiculousness, she managed to outdo herself. This wasn't just a fake paper situation anymore. This was a full-on fantasy where Karen imagined herself as FBI agent, judge, and real estate mogul all rolled into one. Spoiler: reality was about to slap that script right out of her hands. The next morning, things escalated faster than my coffee cooled. I figured the fake contract incident was wild enough, but no, she was about to make it legendary. The whole neighborhood buzzed with gossip, half the people peeking through blinds, whispering about the property scandal of the year. Then came that knock, the kind that sounds way too official to be friendly. I opened the door to find a serious-looking investigator, badge and all. Turns out, the title company had reported the whole thing as potential fraud and opened an immediate investigation. And somewhere nearby, I could practically feel Karen lurking, probably in full spy mission mode. And oh, when she showed up, she put on a performance for the ages. Smiling, offering cookies, trying to sweet-talk the investigator while casually explaining how she thought she could facilitate the sale. Imagine defending fraud with the confidence of someone running a bake sale, except the cookies were made of lies and the bake sale was a federal offense. Watching her panic in real time was priceless. You could see the wheels turning in her head. Wait, why are they taking this seriously? Is the FBI involved? Should I just move to another HOA? It was pure gold. Then, because this woman never misses a dramatic beat, she took to social media, posting vague quotes about standing up for justice and protecting the community like she was running for office. I kid you not, she even tagged a local news channel. Apparently, trying to sell someone else's property without their consent was her new version of public service. But just when I thought I'd seen it all, the real shocker dropped, because yes, the FBI actually called. You're not going to believe this. Someone from the actual bureau called to verify the details of this so-called property sale. Yep, the situation had officially gone federal. And the best part? Karen had absolutely no clue this was no longer some casual HOA misunderstanding. I could just picture her at her kitchen table, clutching a floral teacup, muttering, "Why is everyone against me?" While I was calmly explaining everything to the agent, trying not to laugh because at this point, it felt like I was living in a dark comedy, and just when I thought it couldn't get any more ridiculous, she decided to recruit witnesses. Not just anyone, the same neighbors who had been gossiping about her hours earlier were now being dragged into her imaginary courtroom. One of them even whispered, "I can't believe she's doing this," and I almost lost it. Every move she made only buried her deeper. By now it was clear this wasn't about paperwork anymore. This was Karen versus reality, and reality was winning. From forged emails to laughable witnesses and mysterious Facebook posts, every stunt she pulled made the situation funnier and more incriminating. That evening I sat back, completely stunned by how insane the whole day had been. Somehow I had become the lead in a real-life sitcom about HOA fraud and delusion. But I had no idea the biggest twist was still coming. Because instead of cutting her losses, Karen decided to go nuclear. She doubled down, sending even more fake paperwork, inventing new witnesses, and acting like I'd just hand over my house to keep the peace. I wish I was exaggerating. The peak moment of absurdity? She actually tried to schedule a property closing at my home. That's right. She sent official-looking emails, invited neighbors to witness the transfer, and even added an RSVP. Imagine getting an invitation to sell your own house, hosted by the person trying to steal it. I almost brought popcorn. Meanwhile, both the FBI and the title company were tracking her every move. Every forged document, every fake witness, every dramatic post, all under surveillance. I started keeping notes, thinking, this is the most entertaining HOA meltdown in history. One highlight? When she tried to claim the local mail carrier saw me sign her fake contract. The poor guy had no idea what she was talking about. "Ma'am," he said, "I deliver mail, not legal testimony." I could practically hear her brain short-circuiting as he calmly dismantled her story. By then, the neighborhood had turned on her. People were laughing behind closed doors, embarrassed to even mention her name. Even her fellow HOA members wanted nothing to do with her circus act. She'd gone from self-appointed property queen to the community's walking cautionary tale, a meme come to life. And then came the grand finale. The FBI agent reviewing the case contacted her directly. And oh, the meltdown that followed. Karen tried to charm her way out, but within minutes, reality hit her like a brick wall. Her emails went silent. Calls ignored. Her social media rants? Now evidence in an open file. That's when I knew it was over. My property was safe, and Karen's fantasy empire had officially collapsed. Looking back, I realized just how surreal the whole thing was. A forged contract turned into a full-blown federal fiasco, complete with fake witnesses, panicked emails, and an unforgettable dose of HOA chaos. And if there's one lesson here, it's this. Never underestimate a Karen who thinks she can rewrite reality. Because reality always wins. By the end, I was relieved, amused, and honestly impressed by how spectacularly her scheme failed. My home stayed mine, justice was served, and I ended up with one of the wildest stories I've ever told. Fraud, FBI, HOA drama, dog witnesses, and social media explosions, all wrapped into one unbelievable saga. So if you enjoyed this ride, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, because trust me, the next HOA disaster I'm about to share, it's even more satisfying.